it's interesting. We've seen a lot of change, a lot of excitement in the league, a lot of new faces. But here's the thing that we're looking at: an end of an era, a big change. Mm-hmm. When and how does it come? And what I'm mentioning is Steph, LeBron, KD.
Yeah.
Back into the careers. The torchbearers of the league are now
the unks of the league.
Unks of the league and going to have to be replaced. Mm-hmm. And it's ironic, too. You think about this. Steph, out of those three, was the one that had question marks early on. Think about it. Monte Ellis, it was a big decision Golden State had to make at the time. Monte Ellis, Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
Imagine if they chose the other way, the state of not only Steph, but where the league would be if they made that one decision. Okay?
Because Monte, he was scoring, 23, 24 a game.
Just imagine. Now, as much as Steph accomplished, you kind of didn't expect that. You kind of expected you expected stuff from KD and from LeBron. Mm-hmm. But yet it's Steph who's been with the same team in the same situation, okay, that's had as much or more success than the other two completely as a champion. Mm-hmm. And the other two moved around to trying to figure out their standing in the league as far as championship. Mm-hmm. But now they're on the back end. 2 years left, I think, for Steph on this deal.
I think you might be right.
KD just extended his 2 years. LeBron with his 1 year extension. So you're talking about changing of the guard and how that happens, that transition, in the league, mm-hmm. and who it gets handed off to is a very interesting thing about this year too, because we're seeing the end of an era starting to come. I'm not saying that they can't play longer, but would they continue to be the torchbearers of the league?
Well, look, the end is obviously near.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is what it is. For LeBron, Rich and I were talking today. He was talking about Embiid. He goes, and it even goes back to when he was drafted. Like, you knew you weren't getting 20 years out of him. I'm like, with all due respect, you ain't getting 20 years out of nobody, really. LeBron is an anomaly. So, I think we're definitely at the point where we have to look and say, like boys to men, we've come to the end of the road for these guys.
But is there, and here's the thing about, especially the two with LeBron and Steph, mm-hmm. is that they culturally kind of changed the NBA because of Steph and what he did with the shooting. And
Steph 1,000%.
And LeBron with the business of basketball. Yeah. And just, we haven't seen a player built that played like he did, that impacted the game like that with all those tools. As great as the young talent we have coming in and that are already playing, who can galvanize the public from that perspective to kind of be really the face or the faces of the game?
Yeah, that was a question last year.
You know what I mean? We're not talking about just talent.
Yeah.
Because Steph did way more outside of talent because of his size or lack thereof. He galvanized a whole culture of people, demographic of people mm-hmm. that believe that they can do what he can do.
Because I think, Jimmy, that might have been because not everyone, look at LeBron. He's 6'8", 6'9". He's 250, 260. He's just, built like a superhero.
Right.
Not everyone, most people can't relate to that.
Right.
You can relate to a dude who's like 6'3" and he looks like your neighbor and someone who you'd be playing pickup ball at the Y with. And I feel, that on top of the fact that Steph made everybody think that they could shoot 32 feet away from the basket.
Good and bad.
In my opinion, in some cases, ruined basketball because guess what? Not everybody can shoot like Steph Curry.
I'm pushed back. I'm not going to say Steph ruined it. I put it on the coaches who let kids do it.
Okay.
So whether Steph was doing it or not, you as a coach still got control. Somebody who's teaching these young men and women how to play, that's responsibility too on you.
That's a great
point. Did not allow them to play like that.
Yes, sir.
So Steph gets a bad rap for that. But it's the people who are put in position of power that have influence over these young men and women that allow them to do it. I don't care if it's parents. I don't care if it's coaches or if it's an organization that allows it to happen.
Yeah.
Steph, he was just so talented. That's what he did.
It was undeniable.
It was undeniable. But he still had a certain discipline to it too, though. okay, with Steph in his game. He still beat you off the dribble and got to the free throw line and got layups.
Facts.
Okay? So it wasn't always just that.
He wasn't just hanging out.
He just wasn't. But
arc.
that's where I'm going to go back with that. But it's going to be interesting to see. And to me, the face of a league is not sometimes all about just the talent. It's who has that intrinsic impact on a group of people that galvanizes, that just does something different. Steph was different. LeBron was different. A lot of the Wemby is different, but because he is maybe European a little bit, how does that connect with young players?
Yeah,
Okay, and he's 7'4", 7'5". That's
again,
a whole.
we can't relate to that.
We can appreciate it,
Yeah.
but to the average fan, it's like, well, I ain't never gonna be there. Anthony Edwards, but then it's some things in his personal life that I think prevents him from being the face. That, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, slow down, young boy, a little bit.
So is it a Cooper flag? Is it a Cooper flag?
Well, because of situations, you're kind of thinking, the people, a certain demographic of people probably will rally around Cooper Flag to try to make him the face of the league, and I don't think that's any secret. But
you know what's interesting is that Luka's not.
Luka is also not American.
I know.
Either.
But it's always
There's
but.
always something.
It's always a but.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With all these talented people we got, but there's a but. It wasn't a but with Steph. At the beginning, he's too small. But
then it was like he's injury prone. Remember, his ankles were an issue.
But then he just hit that stride. Boom, it was over. It never was a question with LeBron.
Nah, I mean, LeBron had this pressure on him since he was, 15, 16 years old. I still have the Sports Illustrated when he was 16 on the cover.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's, when we talk about face of the league, we're talking about not just talent. It was a lot of talented players when Michael played. Of course, that whole thing was just
levels.
But it's levels to this, is what I'm saying, is that there's levels to this. And it's not just based on talent, because there's so many talented young players in the league right now that you can point around and say, okay, they can be the face, but some guys have it.
Yeah.
And it is something that you just can't put down on paper. It's
intangible.
It's an intangible that a person or persons have, that when they walk in the room, they can sell you on the energy changes. Yeah. And it's only so many that come around, and we're on the back end of that aspect with, especially, and that's not to take anything away from KD, but with Steph and LeBron. And that's hard to replace. Check out new episodes of The Jim Jackson Show every Thursday. Watch on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page. Follow the show on Instagram @Jim Jackson Show, or listen wherever you get your podcasts.